just doesn't smell like me anymore.
No, cats they'll have like spots that they'll sleep in for like 6 months, a year, and then just decide that they don't do that anymore.
Too cool for that.
That's when they say like rotate beds and toys, because cats will just all of a sudden be like, no.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Right?
Yeah. He's such a funny cat. Welcome everyone to Streaming Screams. I am Glenn. I am here with Jessica.
Hello.
And we are also here with Mr. Brody Lee, the cat. And we're going to talk about some horror.
Probably not Brody, but you never know.
He'll probably just sit there and watch. And it's Mr. Brody Lee. Thank you very much. Actually, it's the undisputed TNT champion, the exalted one, Mr. Brody Lee. That is our cat. Well, my cat, not Jessica's cat.
No.
She has her own cats.
Yep.
What do you got? 4 right now?
4.
4? Yeah. And you're not fostering any at the moment. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to talk about some horror, and today we are talking about Ash. Released in 2025, written by Joni Remler, directed by Flying Lotus, starring Isa Gonzalez as Raya Ortiz, an astronaut suffering from amnesia and paranoia. She spends most of the movie just trying to figure out what has happened here. Also, Aaron Paul as Brian Cargyle, another astronaut who claims to know Raya and says he is here due to her distress call. His top concern is finishing the mission for the sake of mankind. Okay, IKO. Is that Eco or Ico?
Well, he's Indonesian, so I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
I think it's Ico.
All right, we're going to go with
I've
Ico.
met him, so I should know his name.
Oh, really? You've met him?
Yeah, he's the guy from The Raid.
Oh, yeah! Fuck, I love that movie.
I recognized him instantly.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm really bad about that.
Yeah, but I also have met him in person.
Yeah.
Also, he didn't know English very well at all when I met him briefly.
Really?
And then this, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of speaking parts, but he doesn't have like a heavy accent. So
yeah,
I was actually disappointed because he's not really utilized that much. There's like one scene.
Nobody is utilized heavily in this movie except for like the 2 main characters.
Yeah. I'm going to say Iko Uwais.
Okay.
Uwais? Let's see.
We've got Iko Uwais as Ati.
Iko Uwais is what
Google says.
Yes.
Okay, Iko Uwais as Adhi, the crew's commanding officer.
If we're wrong, I'm sorry, but that's what Google says.
You know what? I'm just glad that the inability to pronounce names is not just mine this time around.
Well, I'm not familiar with Indonesian pronunciations, to be honest.
True. Again, though, I struggle with pronouncing names that I should be 100% able to.
Sure.
If there is one thing that we have really learned about me on this podcast, it doesn't matter if it is a name in a language I'm completely unfamiliar with, or if it is a name that is very common in English, I'm probably going to fuck it up if I'm trying to read it.
Yeah.
So then we've got... Shut the fuck up. Beulah Cole as Kevin, a fellow astronaut and Raya's boyfriend.
This one's easy.
Yeah, fellow astronaut and Raya's boyfriend. Oh, thank God. We've got Kate Elliott. We've got Kate Elliott as Catherine Clark, yet another crew member, and the only one who does not seem to be found amongst the bodies by the survivors at the beginning. And finally, we've got Flying Lotus as Sean Davis, yet another crew member.
Oh, I didn't know the director was in it.
Yep. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, most of the characters in this movie appear so little that it's hard to ascribe any sort of personality traits to them.
Yeah, not a spoiler, and I'll probably mention it again at the end, but at the end of this movie, they have a heartfelt recap, and I'm just like, we don't know these people enough for this to matter.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is weird, just because I'm like, is this supposed to be emotional?
Yeah.
I get that it would be for the main character, but not for us.
Right. There's a lot to say about the different elements of this movie, and I'm going to say that the characterization of everyone except for the 2 main characters is not one of its high points. Even the 2 main characters, I'm going to say, aren't super in-depth. They are not the most 3-dimensional characters I've come across.
Here's meowing.
Yeah, I know. Well,
gotta make a decision, buddy.
He's a cat. They don't make decisions.
Sure they do.
Currently, Mr. Brody Lee is standing in the middle of the doorway, preventing Jess from closing the door. Bye. And that was the extent of Mr. Brody Lee's involvement with today's podcast.
So this director, he's a musician, a rapper, as you will. I didn't know that because I'm not familiar. It was weird because to me, when I saw Flying Lotus, I was like, oh, that's weird because I know that as like a trapeze like circus group here in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, what? But he's only done one other thing. He directed VHS 99, a segment.
Yeah, specifically, I think it was called Ozzy's Labyrinth or Ozzy's Dungeon, which was a segment that I really love. Do you know which one that is?
Is it the one that was kind of like...
It's the Nickelodeon one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which I absolutely adored that one.
I do, but I remember the ending like didn't land, but I don't fully remember it.
What do you mean?
I don't fully remember.
You don't fully remember it. Okay.
So I can't answer.
All right.
But yeah, the Nickelodeon one, it was like Double Dare.
Yeah, it was like a combination Double Dare and Legend of the Forbidden Temple. Yeah, it's a fantastic one.
Maybe some guts in there.
Yeah. It's a great segment. Raya wakes up on a distant, barren planet with no idea of why she's there or what has happened to her besides a series of abstract, grotesque images that come flooding into her mind, such as energy gathering and bodies melting. These might be memories, they might be hallucinations, who knows?
This segment goes on, I think, a little too long. Opening.
It kind of does.
I was like, is this going to be the whole movie for a second? Because it went on really long.
When this segment started, I was like, do I need to stop this and take some drugs?
Yeah.
Because the whole movie is very psychedelic.
They lean a little too heavily on the colored lights. And let me tell you, I like colored lights. I have colored lights in my home. But it's just like, why is the space station like blue, red, and purple constantly?
Yeah. So I am very much the same way. I have got, as Jess knows, our house is completely outfitted with smart lights and light strips. And, I make all sorts of color schemes for different situations. And if we're watching particular types of movies, I have specific color schemes I'll turn on and, or if we're listening to certain types of music or whatever. I have so much fun doing that. And also I too was watching this being like, what purpose would having the lab be lit in green serve? Like, you're on a space station, you're trying to do real science here. Why is this room purple? You gotta be able to read.
Other than this, in the opening or the beginning, or it's throughout the whole thing when they're eating, that's the only like normally lit scene.
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe it's because the station's on auxiliary power and they're like, just green LEDs take up less energy.
Well, it's like different colors. If it was one color, that would make more sense. But it's constantly like two tones.
Right.
So it's like,
It's very cool looking.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that if you stop and think about it, you're going to be like, wait, why?
I think we talked about it with our Megan short that we did, that it seems like it's trying kind of to be cyberpunk without actually being cyberpunk.
I would just say...
I just find a lot of people
stylized, because there's nothing cyberpunk about this movie.
No, there isn't, but I find that a lot of people in the scene do just go like, throw some lights on some shit. It's cyberpunk. So it gave me that feel like thing. Just throw some lights on it. That just makes it cool. It's like, okay.
I kind of see what you're saying.
I'm not saying necessarily they were trying to be cyberpunk, but it just gives me that like just get some lights.
Well, yes. So I do think that what they were going for was like, this is a cosmic horror movie.
Yeah.
And I think they were going...
It's low budget, too.
Right. It's a very low budget cosmic horror movie. And I think they were just going for like, if we light things in weird colors, it will give it an otherworldly feel. Yeah. And it is great. And I'm going to be honest, I love the look of this movie. I think everything looks very cool as long as you don't think about it. If you start questioning why this room is green and purple, you're going to be like, that doesn't make sense. They're supposed to be doing science there. Yeah. But I think it looks sick.
It does, but a lot of the times I'm like, I really think they're trying to ride on just how it looks.
Oh, yes. Look, I'm going to be real, man. I just right up front, the script, not the strong suit of this movie. This movie is very stylized, and in my opinion, it looks great. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. The script, the dialogue, the characters, for the most part, did not do anything for me. This was
There's a good movie in here. I think it needed some rewrites.
Yeah, so you know what? This is the thing I was going to bring up at the end.
Yeah.
But I'll just say it now. I would love to see what Flying Lotus could do with a good script.
Sure.
This movie looked so great.
I'm sorry. I know you said it. Did he write it or someone else wrote it?
Somebody else wrote it.
Okay.
I think that this movie looks so great, and I think that the music in it was excellent, which he did score it himself. So from a stylistic point of view, I absolutely loved the shit out of this. Writing wise, pretty bad. The script is thin. There's a ton of plot holes. There's a bunch of stuff that just way suspends disbelief. And, you know, I have like a whole list that I'll go through later of just like, how does this work? But I think it would be great to see him take this kind of stylistic approach with a script that like lives up to the visuals.
Yeah.
So yeah, as she wakes up, she starts hearing warnings of abnormal activity and system breaches and all of that stuff. And she starts following this blood trail around to find bodies of all of these crew members who have died violently.
Yep.
And she does not seem to know what's going on. She steps outside and she sees some really cool visuals that may be hallucinations. Maybe it's something actually with the planet, but it kind of just looks like it's hallucinations, before she begins to choke on the air and scrambles back into the ship. Sorry, not the ship, the station.
Yep.
Then we get a flashback where the crew is eating boiled beans and discussing who is going to be the first one to step out onto this new planet and what they will say as their first words. Mostly, we find that the expedition is looking for a habitable planet. We basically get some information that
They're one of many.
Yeah, they're looking for a habitable planet. They're one of many different expeditions. And
This is all like very shot to like Alien.
Yeah,
when they're eating and they first wake up and stuff.
This segment is very much, I think, homage to Alien, and I think it's deliberate.
Yeah.
It didn't take me out of the movie at all, thankfully, but I did notice it.
Yeah.
Back to today, Raya attaches a medical patch to her neck that seems to help her feel better, at least physically, maybe mentally, before taking a shower and then wandering the base with like these fragmented memories popping into her head. She's looking at photos and reading little notes and muttering vagaries like oxygen saturation, cabin pressure, that don't really tell us anything except for that she's confused and trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
At this point, and this is I'm going to come back now to this script. At this point, she actually wonders out loud, who am I? And I have to say, this made me laugh. Really took me out of the movie for a second because it's just such a dumb cliche.
I guess, yeah.
You know, I think we had already figured out that she's got some form of amnesia from just the wandering around and not being sure what's going on.
Yeah.
And not knowing where she is. Great. The whispering just loud enough for the camera to hear. Who am I? It's so cliche. It's so fucking hokey.
Sure.
It also, everything in this segment, the start was very dreamy and psychedelic, and then things got kind of realistic for a minute. But then in this segment, when she puts the patches on, everything got so dreamy and psychedelic again that at first I was wondering if the patches were getting her high.
I have problems with the patches in this whole movie.
Okay, why?
Because later on, it doesn't matter. Like, that's like spoiler. She literally says like, oh, I put some patches on. I think they help. I'm like, so you just put on some random patch that you have no idea what it does and you just keep using it even though like you have no memory and you're confused? There is nothing to indicate it is actually like benefiting her in any way.
Right.
It could be causing everything. Who knows? Like, and so I'm just like, I don't understand why you would wake up confused and then go, man, here's some patches. I'll just start sticking them on me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what the fuck?
My assumption was just that some of her understanding of how things work is still there. You know, you know how I mean, I've never had amnesia. I'm only going off of pop culture entertainment.
Well, there's all different types of amnesia.
Yeah. I'm only going off of pop culture entertainment here, but it seems like most of the time when somebody has amnesia in a movie or a show or whatever, they still retain their like skills They just don't have their knowledge.
Yeah, but she literally says, like, I don't know what these do, but I was putting on these patches. And it's just like, what?
Well, the little instruction thing on the patch says, does your head suck? Does your heart suck? Put on a patch. You'll feel better.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't use those words. There's actually no words. It's just pictures.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a minor critique. There are some weird editing choices in the movie.
Sure.
And one of them really stuck out here as being completely nonsensical to me, was just the order in which they're showing some of these events. I know you're going to think this is super pedantic of me. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they show her like wipe the fog off of the mirror and examine herself. And then they show her in the shower. And I'm like, this is in reverse. You shower first, then the mirror gets all fogged.
Sure.
For this moment, it made some of the editing feel a little amateur hour, which is fine. Doesn't matter that much. And like I said, I still really enjoyed the visuals and all of that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this is one of those things that would not fly in a higher budget movie.
Maybe the mirror was dirty, not foggy.
Oh, no, it was foggy. And she was moist.
Maybe it was because she opened the door. I don't know.
It looked like she had already just gotten out of the shower. But, you know.
It was all foggy out there.
Anyway, so someone else enters the station. Raya ambushes him, thinking that he's an intruder, but it turns out to be Brian.
With an O, which is annoying.
Is that a legit way?
Yeah,
okay.
I've never seen that.
I mean, I've never seen it either, but...
It looks like it's a last name.
Yeah, but it's not his last name.
Did they say what his last name?
Yeah, his last name is Cargyle.
He just has one of those annoying parents that's like, I'm going to give you a common name, but make it different.
Oh, no. It's an Irish first name.
They do it with a Y.
I think there's probably multiples. It means hill or mound.
But the word it derives from doesn't have an O in it.
I don't know, man. I'm just going off of what Ancestry.com is saying. They could be wrong. Either way.
Because it says it comes from this longer word that does not have an O in it.
You know. Dick is short for Richard for some reason. Who knows? Names are weird, man.
I'm going to still say it's stupid.
Somewhere
Wikipedia doesn't show it as a variant.
Somewhere out there, there's going to be somebody with the name Brian spelled with an O.
Because it's Brian.
Who's going to be very, very hurt by us being like, just ripping on his stupid name.
Wikipedia only shows it with a Y or an I, so, you know, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, so the intruder turns out to be Brian, who has been stationed in an orbiter. He sets up this automated medical robot to patch her up while he gives us an exposition dump that tells us some stuff about their mission that we already know, plus fills in that they are basically humanity's last hope. So no pressure here.
I like that the medical robot says everything in Japanese, and I don't know if anybody else could, but I could understand everything it said.
Yeah, well, it said everything in English and then Japanese, which was...
Well, no, it was saying like all Japanese stuff, but some of like Japanese words are just kind of English.
Yeah.
Japan's the only place where say something in their accent and then they'll understand you and it will make you feel racist, but it's not. If you want ice cream, if you say ice cream, they won't understand. But if you go ice creamo, they'll understand you. And actually, that is how it's pronounced. Like,
okay,
milku. Like, so a lot of their words are just, they sound like English words and they just have like an ooh or at the end.
Sure. I'm gonna take your word for it. You're the anime nerd in the room.
No, I watched this clip on Instagram too. It's a guy learning Japanese, and he asked what a bunch of words were, and they all were like words that were English, but then with the like ooh at the end. Mm-hmm. And then he asked what some other word was, and it was completely different. And then he's like, I thought my Japanese teacher was just fucking with me. He's like, so I looked it up when I got home, and he wasn't. Like, it's because it's things that they didn't have words for before, so they just adopted. It's even like if you do watch anime, like with their theme songs, it'll be like completely Japanese, and then it'll be like "Love you, baby."
Yeah, fucking. I mean that is actually how language works. Like, I am always surprised when people struggle with Latin because, like, we use a lot of Latin. Yeah. And for some reason, you take it slightly out of everyday I don't know. I don't need to get on this whole thing because it actually irritates the shit out of me. There'll be something like I used to be in this band called the Necronomicomies, just mashing the word communist and Necronomicon together. Why? I don't know. We thought it was funny.
Sure.
Had nothing to do with anything.
Teenagers.
Yeah, basically. There were a number of times where when somebody heard that name, they would be like, is that a thing about necrophilia? And I'd be like, no. Without the philia, you don't have sex with dead people. Necro just means dead.
Yeah.
Philia is the sexual part. If you take the philia out, all you have is necro. The word came from Necronomicon. Necro being dead. Nom being name. Icon being book. It's the book of dead names. Like, this isn't fucking complicated,
also like
guys.
necromancy, so, you know.
Yeah, well, that's magic of the dead. Nancy is magic. Like,
still doing stuff with dead bodies.
Sure. But again, the important part here is dead, you know? I'm just saying, like...
We could do the movie Necromancy one day. Necromantic, sorry.
Necromantic. That movie was so unpleasant.
1 and 2.
It was so unpleasant, though.
It is. I don't know if it's really a horror movie or just a gross movie.
I would say it's just, I mean, it's horrifying in the fact that it's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm going to be honest here. I don't think that's going to gain us any views. And I frankly don't have any desire to watch it again. So I'm going to nix that idea.
I own it.
Why?
I don't remember.
It's so gross.
I've had it for like...
Did you just find it for like $2 at Rasputin's in the cutout bin and
Maybe.
be like, well, hey, that's a DVD for $2?
I've had it like since like DVDs first came out. So when they started being popular. So it was like, was I a teenager or in my early 20s? Either way, I don't know. I don't know when I got it. I don't know when I acquired it, but I have it. It's on my shelf.
That's certainly a good use of that space.
I don't have the second one though.
That's fine. I've never seen the second one. I don't care after the first one. The first one was just,
I have.
like I said, it was just an unpleasant watch.
Yeah.
And you know, there's times where I am in the mood for an unpleasant watch, but it's not like that often. I kind of like lump that one in there with things like August Underground's Mortem, where they're where there's just, it's
a movie. That isn't a movie. That's just like,
well, no, where just the point is to like sit through something that's unpleasant, and it's one of those movies that you don't enjoy. It's a movie that you endure. Anyway, so back to this movie. I don't remember where we were, but somebody enters the station. Ryan ambushes him, thinking that he's an intruder, but it turns out to be Brian, who is stationed in an orbiter. He sets up this, medical robot. He sets up this automated medical robot thing to patch her up while he gives an exposition dump about some stuff that we already knew about the mission, plus fills in that they are basically the last hope for humanity, so no pressure for anybody involved. With Raya still suffering from hallucinations and flashbacks showing the crew dying.
Yeah, I was going to say, right here,
yeah.
No.
I've got to start that last point over again.
Oh, they're talking about the crew dying and trying to figure out what happened. Mm-hmm. I instantly was like, well, everyone's been murdered and there's only one person left.
But there is one person that they haven't found yet. We shall see.
I don't know.
But yeah, with Raya still suffering from hallucinations and flashbacks, showing the crew dying, some at her hands, because they do show her killing some of them. They begin searching for the only crew member whose body they haven't found, who is Clark.
Which is a lady.
Yes.
Just to make it clear.
What was her full name? It was...
They call her Clark through the whole thing.
Catherine Clark.
Yeah, but they
just call her Clark. Brian informs Raya that the station is compromised, that their oxygen is running low, and that they need to leave in 12 hours, or and basically all hope for humanity will die. Okay, so this is something else that irritates me about this script. He says this very early on. Mm-hmm. She, I don't think, ever fucking gets this through her head. It is a constant fight where he's like trying to get her to hurry up, and she's like, no, we need to spend the next few days investigating. And he's like, we're dying in 6 hours, man.
Yeah, but she's like, it's going to fuck with me for the rest of my life if I don't know what happened.
Yeah, still, the rest of her life will only be 6 hours at a certain point, you know?
But she's literally like delusional at this point.
I know, but it still drives me nuts just how much time he spends trying to impress upon her, like, we leave or we die, and she's just like, no. But
we'll find out why later, but I the whole time was like, just leave her ass.
Right. So then there's like
you have fun, figure that out. See you on the next side.
Yeah. I'll send somebody back from when I get back to Earth.
Yeah.
So during a storm, the station sounds an alert that there's been a hull breach, which they go searching for. They find the breach.
Okay, this is another thing. I instantly was like, why is she doing everything? He doesn't do shit.
No, he doesn't. And we know why.
Yeah, but I very quickly was like,
he's
not doing anything.
I actually figured out the twist in this scene because of that.
Yeah. And again, it's just like there's been so many movies and they don't do it in a clever way. Well, it's like not obvious. Like they could have made it seem like he's doing something else.
Right.
You know, or like somebody has to monitor something or some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's just him going like, hey, this thing's wrong. Why don't you go fix it?
Right. So
while I yell at you.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, he's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, as soon as I saw her out there doing everything while he's in there being like, you better hurry up, I was just like,
what the fuck you doing, bro?
Just being the voice in her head, which is all he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Raya suspects that Clark is alive and has been infected by something which is altering her behavior and making her psychotic and murderous. She wants to investigate what happened over the next few days, and Brian has to, again, get it through her head that they've only got a few hours, after which they need to leave or they die. Yeah,
they're waiting for an opening for the ship to be able to leave that he came down on.
Yeah, the orbiter has to line up with them.
Yes, but he also was like, it's 24 minutes away that we have to walk to it.
Right.
So we have to leave before the gap opens.
Yeah, and she is just not letting it go.
Yeah.
She's just like, nope, I'm going to stay here and investigate for days.
It's because she's not telling him, but she knows that she at least killed one of them.
Right.
And that he was attacking her. And I understand that would drive you fucking nuts.
Yeah, but you know what?
And you don't even remember who you are.
Live to investigate another day.
Sure. Or you know what? Memory, usually amnesia is not permanent unless you have severe brain damage, which the little robot thing you said you didn't, so.
Right.
Oh, also, I forgot to say, that little fucking robot, man, she had the tiniest wound on her head, and that thing was just jabbing the fuck out of her. It was just
the medical bot?
Yes, I was like, just let it heal. It's not even bleeding. You don't even need a Band-Aid. You're fine. And it's just like stabbing her and like jamming in there. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I think this is causing more trauma than like she has on her own.
Yeah, that robot was such a funny little thing in this movie because it does look like a torture device.
And it's got the happy little like Japanese like, yeah, thank you, like please.
Oh god, no! What I really love is when they scan a dead body and it gives you.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It says, there's a body that she scans where it's like blunt force trauma, and it's all like, I'm sorry for your loss, and plays like some sad music, but then has a little animation of a hammer hitting somebody on the head. It's like I loved the medical robot.
Yeah.
It was weirdly funny in this movie that is overall pretty self-serious.
Yeah. Well, and very on brand for Japanese because they love their little mascots. And I feel like that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's the medical mascot.
That's great. I love it. So a dream about her and Kevin reminds Raya that there's a deep hole that was intelligently constructed and seems to be full of technology that they had discovered previously in their explorations. She watches some videos of an expedition to this hole.
Yeah, because she remembers that there was a drone.
Right.
And then she sees the drone like all fucked up, like sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, so she pulls the video from it. And she watches as they make an expedition to this hole, which they surmise is terraforming the planet.
Which I don't know how they got that.
Dude, there's so many just leaps of logic in this. This whole movie is just like one leap of logic after another. It's one of my major problems with the script.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of Prometheus and the way that's like, aren't they supposed to be scientists?
Oh, yeah. Which, this part in particular, because they wonder how deep the hole is. So Davis does the obvious thing and throws a fucking rock into it.
Yeah, let's just chuck this into like machinery.
Yeah. This big technological hole, this machine that's obviously doing something, have a fucking rock, and if there's one thing that you learn from Lord of the Rings, don't just throw giant rocks into some strange hole.
Yeah, and I also think they're talking about like taking off their masks at one point because they're like, oh, the air's breathable. And I was like, that's
almost breathable.
So let's like just go out there. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And because even if it is breathable, there's other things to worry about.
Right.
There's like shit in the air.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There's like ash or something falling like constantly.
Which is why they call the planet Ash.
Yeah, but they're like
Kevin nicknamed it Ash.
Let's just take a stroll.
So yeah, Davis throws this big-ass rock down into it, and the rock is propelled directly back into his face, shattering the helmet and his skull.
Which isn't supposed to be funny, but it's pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
It looks awesome, but it's also just very funny.
Oh, it looks great. The funny thing is that you kind of see this image earlier in the movie, and you don't know what it is, and you're like, wow, that's fucking wild. And then you see it happen, and you're like, you derpy fuck.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so he's dead. After watching this, Brian returns and she accuses him of hiding stuff from her since he apparently knew about the terraforming, and now she thinks he knows what happened to everyone, except she also reveals that she thinks she killed everyone.
Yeah, but also why does she... I never understood why she thinks that Brian knew about the terraforming.
Because on the video, Kevin mentioned something about Brian knowing about it.
Oh.
But also... even if he knows about the terraforming, so what? He's very direct about this. His goal is to get her back to the ship so they can leave before they die.
But their original point of being there was to find proof of life or an inhabitable planet, which if they already knew that, there would be no reason for them to be there, which means those people wouldn't have died.
Hey, look, this chick is already doing this thing where she's like, I'm about to miss our deadline to leave or die by 3 days.
Sure.
I'm not throwing her any more like bones to go chase after.
Sure, but I'm just saying
and he actually says this pretty soon here where he's like, I'm managing you, man.
No, but I'm just saying they shouldn't have, that's her point. Yeah. But also it is funny because she's like, I think I killed some people. He does step away from her.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah.
Again, to me, this is obvious from the beginning.
Oh, totally. And
because they didn't even know about Clark at first, that thinking that she might be alive. So it's like, oh, everyone's dead, like murdered, dead, and I'm the only one here, and I don't know what's going on. It's like, okay, well, let's deduce.
Yeah, what a mystery. Yeah. Somebody get Sherlock Holmes, man.
Yeah.
Bringing Dr. House to figure this one out. Yeah, I actually have a note here that this whole conflict feels so manufactured to me, because she's talking about going around in circles all day, but they've only been in this situation for half a day, and he's been really clear about his focus of just trying to get her and like get out of the station so they can survive. Yeah. And she just, like I said, she's just not grasping this concept that survival is actually still the important thing here. Yeah. She then has some more flashbacks where she remembers Audie attacking her and her killing him in self-defense.
Yeah, which this is like the only scene where he kind of does martial arts, but it's not even really like that much. And I'm like, man, they got this like amazing martial artist and then didn't utilize him at all.
Honestly,
he does a little bit. But not really.
I actually didn't like that he did any martial arts. Because I'm like, all right, these guys are scientists, right?
Yeah, but I recognized him from the raid, so I was like, oh, there's got to be a scene. Like, and then he just kind of like is like, meh. So
sure,
I'm like, oh.
I don't know, man. Just for me, I'm watching like this cosmic horror movie. The second he throws a roundhouse, I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, but he's possessed.
Sure. Still, there's only so many genres you can have in one movie.
It doesn't make it a whole genre because of one scene.
No, but mostly it's just him being a scientist. I was just like, scientist and karate master, not karate.
I'm not sure what kind of, I don't know enough about martial arts.
I don't know Indonesian martial arts as a whole.
But let's get on Raid 3, people. When is that coming out?
The director said the story's over.
No, it left on the second one leaves on
It doesn't. He gets out and he gets rescued and he says, I quit.
No, but then he finds like the box thing.
That already happened. The very last thing that happens is he says, I haven't
seen it in a minute.
I quit. Yeah.
I swear to God, it leaves on like, oh, this could keep going on.
They could if they wanted to. It wouldn't be hard.
There was always supposed to be a Raid 3. Even when I saw them, because I saw the Raid 2 as a pre-showing, and the director and him were there, and he said that there was going to be a Raid 3.
Every interview with that. So I absolutely love the Raid movies. Yeah. And every so often I do check to see if there's any word on this.
I'm like, he said.
Everything I've ever read him say has been like, he feels like they left it at a good spot, because the dude quits the police force, so he's not part of this anymore. So after this flashback, she finds another intruder who turns out to be Clark and escapes into the maintenance tunnels where she finds Brian's corpse. Clark attacks her. They fight around the station for a little bit until they end up in a bathroom where Rhea attaches a shower hose to Clark's helmet and turns it on, drowning her.
He did originally say it was coming out. Like, there's a bunch of stuff on IMDb even saying it was going to come out.
But did he change it later?
Yeah, later he's all like, nah, I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
But before he did was like,
I mean, just how are you
No, it was left open for a 3, and then he's like, meh.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because goddamn, those movies are great.
They're really fun.
So good.
Thanks for joining us here at the Streaming Screams podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube at Streaming Screams Pod.
You can also find us on TikTok and Blue Sky at Screams Pod.
Every follow, like, thumb, rating, review, subscription, and share all help us out a lot with all the algorithm shit.
So if you like what we're doing, please rate us wherever you get your podcasts, like our posts, all that other good internet bullshit. And again, thank you for listening to
The Streaming Screams Podcast.
Clark attacks and they fight into a bathroom where Rhea attaches a shower hose to Clark's helmet and turns the shower on, drowning her.
I thought this was weird too. Why is there like an input into a space helmet that perfectly like lets you put water into it?
If you're going to do an expedition like this, you want to have as many parts that work with each other as possible. So like you don't want to have specific hoses and connections for everything that requires a hose and a connection, because if you have like a specific type of hose for your shower and a specific type of hose for the irrigation system and a specific type of hose that runs the oxygen into your space helmet and a specific type of hose and a specific type of hose for that, then you've got like 5 or 6 different types of hoses that you need to bring. And if something goes wrong, you run a bigger risk of running out of hoses. So what you want to do is you want to have one type of hose on the ship, and everything that requires a hose has this one hose that connects.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would want a hose of any kind to go into a helmet. That's supposed to keep air, like, be airtight.
Probably so you can attach it to an external oxygen source.
Still just don't feel like it should be like...
I thought about it. I thought this too, and I actually had to like when I got to this scene. Honestly, I actually paused the movie and had to sit down and logic this out for a minute.
I'm just like, that's weird.
And eventually, I was just like, well, actually, no, it makes sense for an expedition like this. You want huge bundles of one part. You don't want small bundles of different parts.
No, that makes sense. Does Clark come back?
No, she does not come back.
Because I thought she's fighting her with her mask broken at one point. Because there's a cool scene where she sets her on fire.
Yeah.
And then when she's walking by, she punches a fire extinguisher and it blasts her out. And it looks pretty cool. And I thought her mask was busted out at that point.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think she was just on fire.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
Yeah, that was a very cool scene. That gave me some real Terminator vibes in a way. That was pretty badass. That was one of those things where I don't know if that was in the script or not, but that is one of those things where I kind of credit Flying Lotus with just like this cool style.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after the fight, she uses the medical robot to scan Clark's body for infections and doesn't find anything. She finds that the only thing is that Clark has been drowned.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I don't know what the actual
I don't know what it
is
is either, but it's all
She leaves for the lander, but finds it sabotaged. So she comes back and scans Brian's body, finding that he's been dead since before the movie even started.
Yeah, his face is all bashed in.
Yeah, so once again, shocker, he was never there. He's been a hallucination this whole time, which is why he never does anything. So it turns out that Rhea is the infected one, and Brian was always a hallucination caused by the nanotech parasite that has infected her. A new Brian hallucination shows up, and she has a series of flashbacks that inform her and us that Kevin had accidentally brought an alien onto the station that had infested their mainframe and airlock. Everyone else had wanted to evacuate, but Rhea, who we have seen is just stubborn and doesn't want to leave anything for fucking any reason, convinces them all to stay and argues that they need to investigate further.
Yeah, because she says this is what we're here for, but I'm like, yeah, you were there to find evidence of either life or that you could live there. You found it.
Yeah.
That was your mission.
Go get people.
Leave.
Yeah.
Like, you already did it.
Come back equipped to deal with the alien, and with more scientists who can help you figure out how the terraforming machine works.
Right.
Because, like, so far, all you've done is found this invertebrate thing and thrown a rock into a hole, and that's not fucking cutting it. It's gotten one of you dead.
Yeah.
So, like a dumbass, and oh god, this is where the Prometheus thing really kicks in. Because not just throwing a rock, but she absolutely pulls a, like...
I don't know what this is. Let's start, like, touching it.
Yeah. So, like a dumbass, she takes a sample of the creature to study without telling anyone.
Yeah.
So there's no safety protocols here. The sample she takes is fully infected by the nanoparasite, which escapes and infects Audie, who then attacks her. This fight spirals out of control, and between the combat and between the infection rapidly spreading to, like, every crew member, everyone except for Clark and Raya is killed, at which point the nanoparasite infests Raya. So now we get a scene where the parasite seems to be talking to her directly, telling her that Ash, which, by the way, I don't remember if we covered it earlier, Ash is the nickname that Kevin gave to this planet that they're on.
Yeah.
Unprofessional. Hey, baby, we're in the middle of a recording session. Okay, that's fine. Love you too. Bye. So we get a scene where the parasite seems to be talking to her directly, telling her that Ash is their planet and that humans can't have it. And in fact, the parasite plans to assimilate her. For some reason, it only needs one of her to assimilate. It says this whole thing about they only need like one human to assimilate, but we don't find out
because the whole point is that they're going to go to Earth. That's why he was so desperate to get her on the ship, so that they can get to Earth.
Right.
But they have I think it's here that said, I'm not positive, but the whole thing of why she's not ever completely taken over like other crew was is because she has some DNA mutation, just some mutation, so that they
Did they say that?
Yeah, it comes up somewhere. I watched I didn't hear it. I'd watched 2 videos on it, and they mentioned it, both of them.
There was no indication of this in the movie.
It comes up somewhere, apparently.
Horseshit. I think that this is...
Like I said, I watched a couple breakdowns of the movie, and both of them said it. So.
I mean, I watched this twice, and I kept like looking for these weird plot holes.
Yeah. Maybe the robot says it at some point. I don't know.
Maybe?
But that's why, she's not fully taken over.
So, the planet plans to assimilate her. Or, sorry, not the planet. The nanoparasite plans to assimilate her. She fires up this medbot, which successfully removes the parasite from her, interestingly enough. Then the parasite infests the body of Brian and mutates him into this hideous, the Thing-like monstrosity. And I gotta say, this thing looks fucking awesome.
It does.
You want an awesome fucking creature design?
Yeah.
Go check this movie out, man.
Apparently, though, this is all like the plot of Dead Space.
Yeah,
the video game.
I have heard that. I've never played Dead Space. I've always wanted to.
I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I hear the second one's better, but I couldn't even get through like much of the first one. It all survival horror does this. Mm-hmm. The beginning, like 20 minutes, is excessive, just going back and forth. They're like, you gotta find this train and like go something. It's like, well, the power's not on. And it's like, okay, we gotta go turn the power on. And then it's like, we turn the power on. Now we're gonna go back to the train. But we need a key card to get it to work. We gotta go all the way back to get the key card. I'm like,
that's really annoying.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like I said, Resident Evil does it, but it's usually like you explore like a whole area and then you have to go back. Like, it's like you explore the whole first floor that's huge, and then you go to a second floor and it's like, I gotta go. Now I have the thing that like for the places I couldn't unlock on the first floor. You know what I mean? But this was just like, you're just going back and forth. And I'm just like, come on, guys.
Oh, that would be annoying.
But there's a remake that's supposed to be better.
Okay.
There's a remake of the first one, and then I hear the second one's the best, and then the third one sucks. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played any of them. They all kind of came out during a time where I was not playing video games as much. I don't remember why. It had nothing to do with games or anything.
Yeah, it just happened someday.
Yeah, it was just like a phase. I wasn't super into it at the moment.
But spoiler alert, already said, but that also has to do with a parasite that assimilates different species. and that mutates bodies into like a thing-like thing also.
But yeah, this one looks great. It has a very thing-like thing, but like his face is split in half and flapping around on both sides.
Yeah, and his skull's just like.
Yeah, it's so cool. This movie is worth watching almost just for that.
For the low budget, any of the gore scenes are really well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they're CGI, but it works because of the weird coloring.
Why?
You don't notice it as much because it's not that real
right,
lighting.
Right.
If it was the real lighting, I'm sure it would look god awful.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually she is able to burn Brian's body with the parasite, also sending the station up in flames. She goes back to the lander and finds that despite the sabotage, it works just fine. This made me so mad. Like apparently it didn't work before, but now she just shows up again and it's fine.
Maybe that was an illusion.
I guess. Maybe. But yeah, so she escapes to the orbiter. Unfortunately for her, in a mid-credit scene, we see that the orbiter is already completely overrun with the parasite anyway.
Yeah.
So, great-looking movie. This script has some serious problems, though.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to get into this, like, list of logic leaps and plot holes.
Well, I was going to say, I wouldn't even consider this necessarily a slow movie, but I have a high tolerance for slow movies. I keep trying to get saying we need to watch the Black Coat's Daughter, which is one of the slowest movies in history, but it's excellent. I found myself zoning out sometimes while watching this and having to be like, oh, I gotta pay attention. I don't know. There's just something about the acting and the way like things are playing out that I'm just like, it's so dull.
I didn't have that problem. I kept finding myself distracted with these logic leaps and plot holes. How does she come to the conclusion that Clark is infected?
Because
with something.
There's never know where her body is. I don't know.
Yeah, there's never anything to suggest this. She just says, I think she's been infected with something.
I think because she remembers the other guy, like, attacking her and having, like, his teeth are all black and he looks all mutated. So I don't think
he remembered that yet. I don't think she remembered that yet.
No, because she does, because she, like, there's a scene that we didn't mention where she's in her room and, like, just sees his face in the doorway. And that's when she starts remembering... Like, that's when she starts remembering that she was being attacked and that she stabbed the fuck out of him.
Okay.
And let me tell you, she stabs the fuck out of him.
So the other thing, why does she not understand the urgency of this situation?
Because she's infected.
Well, but if the nanobot is...
Well, he wants to leave.
Right. And here's sort of the biggest plot hole for me. When the nanobot takes control of his body that second time, he just takes total control and mutates it into this huge, like, monstrosity instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as the nanobots take control of any of the other crew members, they're immediately able to just wipe their personality and start attacking. But the nanobot can't get her to just, like, go to the ship?
Okay, so like I said, I watched 2 breakdown videos and both of them said, I don't know where it is, but both of them said that it is stated that she has some mutation. So I think that's part of the thing why she's not getting the urgency, because she has cognitive dissonance where she has this thing trying to control her, but she also is like trying to take control of her own mind also. Yeah. I don't know where it said, but both these videos that broke down it said it. Like,
were they both made by the scriptwriter?
No. One of them was actually, it was interesting because it was broken down in like a science thing of how like this thing would work and stuff and how stuff on the ship would work. It was kind of cool.
I mean, I'd be interested in seeing that.
But they both said that it is explicitly said that that's the reason she didn't get just straight taken over, and it's trying to do this hallucination thing because she has some mutation that it can't take over.
Okay.
It's somewhere. I think it might be when it was talking to her, and that's why it started directly talking to her, because it's like, look, motherfucker.
Maybe. I don't know. But then that begs the question of why it didn't just, like, use one of the other people.
Because she killed them.
Well, maybe stop attacking her and just go to the fucking ship.
Because she wouldn't leave.
Well, no, if it takes one of the other bodies, and the thing does explicitly state that it only needs one human.
Right.
So take one of the other humans, go to the ship, GTFO, motherfucker.
But I think she wouldn't let them. I don't know.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They could have cut her out of the equation
and
completely.
Just snuck out.
Yeah, or killed her. Well, no, not killed her. Obviously, it didn't work there, but like...
No, because I think they didn't have a way to leave without Brian coming there, too.
Yeah, but then Brian's been dead since before the movie started.
Yeah, but he still had to come down, and I was going to say she would have convinced them not to leave, but no, he would have convinced them to leave. That's why he's dead. Okay, I don't know, man.
Yeah. So I also want to know, what are all these weird hallucination-like fractals that we see? Are they hallucinations? Are they like the atmosphere? What?
I'm assuming it's her brain synopsis, like misfiring as, again, it tries to take control and she tries to control it. Also, we still don't know what these goddamn patches she's using, so it could be that. And like, there's one point where he's like, put on more, motherfucker.
You know what? Maybe they are just straight drugs.
Well, that's the thing. She says she doesn't know what they are. And I'm like, then why are you using them?
Because the picture said it would make me better.
Okay.
So then the last question, how is the orbiter already overrun? The orbiter is completely infected.
Yeah, it's like all around the outside and everything.
Yeah.
Which doesn't also in any way indicate how this little parasite thing works.
Right, but then so why does Brian need to go back down to the station if they only need one person to get back to Earth
to take over Earth?
And and you've already infected the station with Brian on it. Just take Brian, man. He doesn't.
No, they didn't they didn't infect him though with him on it. It would have had to been after.
Sure, but
because he wasn't infected until he was back on the planet.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If he's on the orbiter and the entire orbiter is infected, why not just infect him right there on the orbiter without sending him back to the planet?
I don't know.
Like he's got the ship.
Or who else is there, right? It's not just him. It looks like a whole space station. There's probably other people.
They said it was just Brian.
He's just hanging out on this giant space station by himself.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Is weird. Yeah, so I think that the space station orbiter might actually be their ship back and forth all together, and somebody's got to stay with it. Okay. But that's, you know what? That's me filling in gaps for the script.
Yeah.
So could be wrong. Like I said, visuals, great. Script, not very good. Yeah. I would love to see what Flying Lotus could do with a better script. One thing I did like, and this goes right with the visuals and the music, is that the movie really owes a lot, and I mean a lot, of its style to like the synthwave and dark synth aesthetic that was really big during the 10s and like the early parts of the 20s.
It was funny because Craven actually like was like, is this movie sponsored by Guffey?
Yeah. I like, when I was watching it, I was reminded a lot of that Carpenter Brute movie, Blood Machines.
Oh, sure.
Which is an absolute hot garbage movie. This is...
Yeah, but all that's taking stuff from like 80s movies and stuff. Like a two-tone lighting is very common.
No, I know. I'm just saying that the whole vibe reminded me of that.
Yeah.
It also watching this movie very specifically made me want to listen to the album Wilderness by Makeup and Vanity Set. Just something about the vibe really brought that album to mind. The look already just owes so much to the synthwave and dark synth aesthetic.
It really just reminded me of 80s lower tier than B movie, like sci-fi movies.
Sure, but cranked up to that level that retro things tend to crank things up.
Yeah, but see, that just goes back to the cyberpunk thing, because the whole like that thing is all those people that revived like
cyberpunk though.
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying that's what people think of. It's just, just throw some colored lights on it and then it's cyberpunk. And synthwave does the exact same fucking thing with their thing. Well, not gonna call anyone's name out, but there's a club here that their whole thing is trying to be cyberpunk because they're doing synthwave. And what do? They just, people put lights on clothes.
Well, okay. Actually, there's a couple clubs you could be talking about.
I'm talking about.
I know the one. But for that, I would say that it's very much the Outrun aesthetic, which is different from cyberpunk. As an old school cyberpunk person,
Glenn,
and I've been into cyberpunk for a long time.
No. I have the umbrella with the lights on it, you know?
Yeah, from Blade Runner.
No, my umbrella outside.
The outdoor
my
umbrella.
My patio umbrella.
Okay, your patio
that has
umbrella.
lights on, like the branches that, you know, hold up an umbrella. Literally, when I first posted a picture of that, somebody went, "Ooh, very cyberpunk," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
No, okay, that is not cyberpunk.
I know it's not, but that's what I'm talking about. Is that like people just have this idea that like, ooh, lights.
No, I know. Believe me.
So I'm like, I never was saying the movie cyberpunk. I'm saying it reminds me of the people who just think colored lights. Like cyberpunk.
Sure, and those people definitely exist. I am very much not one of them. I have been into cyberpunk for a very, very, very long time. It definitely requires more than colored lights. You need, high tech low life and transhumanism and all of these very William Gibson-y concepts. That being said, while there's a shitload of overlap between the cyberpunk aesthetic and the Outrun aesthetic, I don't remember where this conversation was going, which that's going to be a real fun part of the podcast. No, I forgot what we're talking about. Either way, I hear what you're saying. I don't think that was the intention here. I think he just really wanted it to be like cool looking and was taking a lot from the Outrun aesthetic, the synthwave aesthetic. I guess synthwave is the music, Outrun is the style.
I know, but I'm saying, so when you say that...
I'm saying that for the listeners.
Okay, but I'm saying 90% of synthwave listeners are the ones that are like, lights equal cyberpunk. So if that's what they're going for, I think they might have been going, oh, that makes it cyberpunk.
Look, man, the fans never know what the fuck they're talking about. You know this. You know this.
They're like, there's cool lights and there's alien technology.
I mean... Neither of those make anything cyberpunk.
But I'm telling you, that's what.
Well, that might be the interpretation of like lame fans online. No. Quote unquote normies often actually have a little more depth of thought than fans do. Like hardcore fans get fucking weird about this shit, and they're just like, everything I like fits into this thing. And you're like, no, this has a meaning. The genre of cyberpunk has a meaning.
It's a warning.
Genre of Outrun has a meaning. These things have meanings. Not everything that you like fits into this, and that's fine. Actually, you know what? That's not just fine. That's good. You know what makes for a well-rounded person? Being interested in different things. You don't need to shoehorn everything into your one interest. You know what I really hate? People who can't fucking tell the difference between like cyberpunk fiction and post-apocalyptic fiction.
Oh yeah.
They are they're both futuristic and dystopian, but other than that, they're so fucking like opposite of each other.
I don't necessarily think post-apocalyptic is dystopian, because dystopian specifically has to have like a hierarchy. It's the haves and the have-nots, and I don't think post-apocalyptic necessarily always has that.
It usually does. You've usually got your the guy from Mad Max, Fury Road. What the fuck is his name? I keep wanting to call him Toe Cutter, but that's who he played in the first Mad Max.
I'm just saying, not every post-apocalyptic. Some do, yes, that does. But not all of them do.
Yeah,
it's just people fending for themselves.
Not all of them, but I mean, I'm pretty sure dystopian just means basically shitty society.
No, I thought...
Like, because utopia is like great society, dystopia is shitty society, you know. Dis is...
It says dystopia just means great suffering and injustice. So again...
Where the fuck did you read that?
Oxford Dictionary.
No. I'm looking this up. Oh, an imagined world or society where people an imagined world or society where people lead wretched, dehumanized, or fearful lives. So that's Merriam-Webster. There's Oxford. Yeah, an imaginary place or condition in which everything is as bad as possible, opposed to utopia, Ketatopia. Either way, the topia part basically references society. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Latin roots. If people just understand their Latin words, things become so much easier. A utopia is like an idealistic society. A dystopia is a shit world or a shit society. What do you look? Are you still looking up dystopia or?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Because like the Cambridge is like, yeah, relating to a very bad or unfair society. 'Cause I think there needs to be like an unfairness where I think a post-apocalyptic can just be like the world's shit and everybody's shit. That's not unfair. That's just everyone's in a shit position.
Sure, but people do naturally get together and form societies, even if they're small tribalistic societies. Sure. You can have a society of a dozen people, you know?
Yeah. Anyways, this movie isn't about any of that.
No. We need to find ourselves a good cyberpunk horror movie to do, because that would be fun. I can't think of any off the top of my head, though. So, how did you like Ash?
It's fine. I don't know. I don't like it or dislike it. It's whatever. It's a movie.
I have extremely mixed feelings about it. Like I said, I absolutely loved the look and the style. I found that really enjoyable.
I thought
but the script is trash.
The creature thing looked cool.
The creature looked awesome.
The few gore looked cool.
Yeah.
Her being on fire and punching the fire extinguisher looked cool. But I honestly don't think the movie looks like there's scenes that look good, but a lot of it, I'm like, this is unnecessary and just. I think it's just trying too hard to be stylistic in a movie. Like this movie is trying too hard to be smarter and look a certain way than it is.
I agree with the first part. I think that it was very successful in looking cool. Now, this does bring me to another thing that I wanted to talk about, though, which is the use of AI in movies. And I alluded to this a little bit, I think, in our Megan discussion, our Megan 2.0 screening screams, which is a bonus available on wherever you get your podcasts. So go check that out after this. There was a lot in this movie where I found myself looking at it and wondering if that was AI or if it was...
Oh, made with AI?
Yeah. Or if it was just... Because, over the last few years, I have found myself looking at a lot of things and wondering if this is AI that I'm looking at or if this is just, where CGI has ended up in. There's a lot of, for example, Late Night with the Devil. We all know that they used AI for...
It was blatantly obvious.
Yeah, it was super blatantly obvious, except that they stated that they only used it for these, title cards, and they were clearly AI. Sure.
I know, but I think it's reasoning, being like, oh, it was just for this. Yeah, you could have paid an artist to... You had 20 billion production companies on this. You couldn't throw $100 at somebody to make...
Yeah, and oh my God, this is actually getting off track, because that's not where I was going.
Sorry.
But real talk, how many great artists would have killed for that gig?
Yeah.
And they would have done it affordably, and I think they would have done it better. But no, my point being is that we know that they used it for those few images. But there was a lot of the movie where it has this look. I couldn't tell if they had just put a ton of effort into making it look like a 70s TV thing, or if there was a filter that they were using. I know they put a ton of effort into making it look like a 70s TV show, but also was there an AI filter that was used when they did the fucking worm thing? That to me, I couldn't tell, was that AI or is that just new CG?
Well, it's definitely not new CG. I thought it looked like old shitty CG.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So I thought that it looked like it might be also AI. And I found myself in this position a lot in this movie, where I was looking at those hallucinatory fractals or scenes where they show melting bodies and things like that. And there was a lot of that where I was just this feels like AI.
Well, it had that shininess to it that AI does.
So, but I'm also wondering, is that also just the state of CG right now? Is it just popular to add that shininess with CGI? Are these fractals something that you do with Blender and shit?
Just doing a quick search, I can't find anything specific on it other than a lot of people thinking that yes, it is AI.
Yeah. So that does make me wonder, and I find that something that is frustrating me, that I don't.
It automatically makes me not like stuff and just I don't like people who are using it.
So what I'm saying is, I don't know if they used AI in this.
Yeah.
If they did use AI in it, shame on them. And that does automatically really put me in a headspace where I'm against it. But there is no direct evidence that there is AI other than this vague look. But again, I don't know if that's just where CG technology has been going, in particular for such a low budget. I do remember reading that he learned how to do the CGI effects using YouTube tutorials. So does it have that look because he's new at this and his budget is crap and he's like doing his best with like a pirated copy of Blender or something? Or does it look like that because he used AI? And I don't know. And I would love to know. And that's, I feel like this is going to be a thing that irritates me in a lot of movies coming out for a while, you know?
Yeah, because my problem is like, I know some people try to defend it of like, oh, well, they don't have like the budget and like this and this. And it's like, well, then if you're going to undercut people who should be paid to do it, why should anybody pay you to do something? Why are we paying anyone to do movies? Like, why you know what I mean?
You know what?
Like,
get people who want to like get their foot in the door. You know, I am not for not paying artists, but if you literally don't have a budget, you can be like, hey man, somebody come and help me with this, and I guarantee you a spot on my next movie. Your pay will be better. You know, you can put this in your reel. You can use this to get other jobs.
Fuck, I can't remember. There's a movie that came out recently that has really good music, and it was literally like the director heard one song on SoundCloud and hired a guy.
Yeah.
And it was a guy who only had like 2 songs on SoundCloud, and then he ended up doing a whole movie.
Yeah, that's fucking...
I'm like, there's just way to do it cheap.
There are ways to do it cheap.
Go on Fiverr and just look for somebody that's decent.
There's a million super hungry artists out there who would love to just get something like this on their reel, on their demo, on their website.
Yeah, I just hate like because there's so many people who undervalue art and just don't think it's worth. Right. Like that people don't deserve this, then I'm like, then you better not be watching movies. You better not be watching TV. You better not be listening to music. You better not like any visual thing you see out there. Don't play video games. Don't like artists make life interesting, whether and people can say they don't value it, but they do.
Right. Everybody wants to go see a good movie. Everybody wants to listen to their favorite records. And man, if you don't, if you think that the White Album was ever going to happen with those 4 guys having day jobs, I've got fucking news for you. It wasn't going to happen that way. Yeah. I have always gotten shit for saying this, but I was 100% on Metallica's side during the Napster thing. If you don't think that music is valuable, do you want them to go on a worldwide tour in a van with like combo amps? They're going to sound like shit. They're not going to come anywhere near you. Yeah. You know? As a musician, and I can't speak as a visual artist or a filmmaker, but I can tell you, as a musician, there's a million ways to spend money, no ways to make it. This studio that we're sitting in has dollars. You know? Just looking around, I would estimate that there's probably, I'm going to bleep this out, there's probably dollars of gear in here. Maybe I don't know. But like, this shit is not fucking cheap, you know?
And Glenn's address is no.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Being an artist is goddamn expensive. And if you don't value that, if you don't think that you should have to pay for it, if you're one of those people who's like, oh, art should be free for everybody, go fuck yourselves. It is so much money.
I'm trying to find stuff, but I can't find anything. Though I found something disturbing that there's trying to find any information if there's AI.
Oh, you're not going to. I extensively looked into it.
Did you see, though, that there's a program called ASH that is specifically AI developed for therapy? That is terrible.
That is terrible.
I don't know if people don't know this, but like, we're just going off the rails, I guess. But all the like chat bot things, chat GPT, it's just predictive text.
Yeah, literally.
It's advanced predictive text. And the more and more people using this for therapy is awful. It is not therapy. It's just telling you what it thinks you want to hear.
No, it's not even telling you that. It's telling you what it thinks the internet as a whole would tell you.
No, but the more you, like, if you pay for Chat GPT, it saves your things.
Yeah.
So the more you talk to it, it is trying to figure out what you want.
Sure, but it is still
that is not how therapy works.
But it is also, but even then, it's just going off of weighted averages. It's still pulling information from the entirety of the internet.
Don't do this.
Look up large language models. If you don't know how AI works, look up LLMs. look up large language models, it is not actually super complicated in concept. Obviously, it's complicated in execution, but like AI is legitimately bullshit and it's fucking awful.
Also, predictive text started in sweatshops. It literally was people going and like selecting like, oh, if it's this word, it should be this word.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, gross. Super gross. God, of all of the fucking things you don't need to build a sweatshop for, you can literally have people
I don't think
doing
it is
that
anymore,
in comfortable
but it used to be.
You could literally have people doing that like out in a nice like yard, you know, with some sunshine.
Sure. You can pay someone minimum wage to do that.
We don't need to deliberately be awful to everybody for everything.
Yeah.
Like, it would not fucking kill us to not make everything the worst version of itself possible. Who would you recommend this movie for?
I guess if you really just like any sci-fi stuff, which I know people who do.
Yeah. Hey man, every genre has that. I know people who will watch literally anything that you plop the word horror in front of.
Yeah.
Any fantasy movie, no matter how stupid.
Yeah. But really, I don't know.
So I would recommend this if you are one of those people who is not yet totally sick of Outrun. If you're still digging synthwave, you really like things with neon lights and cool visuals, you're really into cosmic horror, you'll probably find something that you like here. If you want a tight script, maybe skip this one. Like I said, I would love to see what Flying Lotus could do with a better script.
Sure.
How are we doing on time? Fucking kidding me. Okay. Well,
You can cut out probably a lot of the ranting.
yeah, I think a lot of the shit that we talked about regarding AI should just be said.
Oh, sure. I meant more like the cyberpunk stuff, but I don't know. People maybe like that.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
go, Jessica's an idiot.
Yeah. Well, anyway, idiot, play us out.
Look at these lights. Aren't they neat? Wouldn't you like this movie to be complete?
That's brutal. That's so brutal. Man. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it, Flying Lotus, who I think did a really good job with the script that you had.
Sure.
Oh, man.